It's Christopher Coppola. I am trying to get some sanctuary out here just outside of Junction City in Oregon, not far from Eugene. And I just wanted to do a video recap with my radio show with Bearz, who was the first Facebook friend that I had on my radio show. I could tell from his comments in his page that there was some kindred artistic spirit there. Well schooled in various different topics. So we had a lot to talk about and a lot to share with each other and to the listeners. The problem was the connection and technology wasn't the best, so a lot of stuff he was saying couldn't be heard by everybody. Though we do have an archive, and pretty much everything he was saying was very interesting, so I'm sure you'll get something out of it. But I just thought of him because he's a photographer and he's living in North Carolina, and he's English. We talked about Michael Powell and directing and Orson Welles, and I just sometimes need to come out, and find something, discover something. This is bothering me though right here. I'm not going to say why. I'm sure for the people that know what's going on over here that I actually feel a little weird sitting on this bench, because I'm sure it has some history that I may not want to know about. But I mean, it's a beautiful place, so maybe it just can't be helped. But you should clean up after yourselves, But anyhow, what I wanted to share, D.W. Griffith, as he got older, was an alcoholic and kind of a dirty old man, and didn't like being with people. He was very, very angry at the world for treating him, like a dinosaur, like somebody that didn't do anything for Hollywood, and he was an old man, and he felt that had he trademarked things he invented, like the dissolve, the close-up, the fade in and fade out, that he'd be a billionaire, which he would have been, obviously. But great director Renoir, obviously knew a lot about, how great D.W. Griffith was, and he just said, Mr. Griffith, you're a poet. You're a poet. Who cares about all that money? But because he was shunned, basically, by the very child he created, he didn't care. He was just upset, wanted money, wanted women, booze, and basically was in a sort of a seedy hotel room. Had one guy that really took care of him, that kind of dedicated assistant that just loved the man and really was there for him. And obviously he took a lot of abuse, I'm sure, from Griffith, like a lot of these old great curmudgeons in their life. But finally a reporter got in there from a bait and switch where they brought up some booze and some women from the street, and Griffith got excited, let them in, and immediately the ladies and the booze went out the door, and the reporter came in the door and sat in a chair because Griffith was dying. And they kind of wanted to get, let him talk a little bit about his life and who he was, the giant he was. And Griffith laid on the bed and didn't say a word and looked out the window. Guess there was a tree out there, must have been, but he was looking out the window, and finally he said the only real directors that he admired at this point were Orson Welles. I think he also said King Vidor. I'm not positive about that one, but and both Bearz and I were talking about how much we really liked Orson Welles. I'm not sure that's going to be in the archive version, but he said finally, with a tear in his eye as he was looking out the window, that nobody knows how to shoot the light on the leaves anymore. Nobody knows how to shoot the light on the leaves anymore. It's also nobody cares, I think, also is what he's saying. Nobody has that kind of slow patience to let things happen, to let things breathe. Everything was moving faster. It's an interesting plane, so I'm glad we got that. But even then for Griffith, things were changing fast and drastically. So I mean, I'm sure he wouldn't like what we're doing now at all. But that's life. Things change. But for you, Bearz, since you're a photographer, I wanted to share that. By Griffith, nobody knows how to shoot the light on the leaves anymore.